was 6 months pregnant with our first child. I went to the doctor for a routine checkup. Nurse told me I had to come in and get some antibiotics because I have an STD. And if I'm not cheating, where else did I get it from?
Messages are just trying to, hook up with her and stuff like that. So
Is she accepting the advancement?
Yes, Your Honor. I was in the process of closing those doors.
No, you don't close the door by saying, yeah, we can have sex. That's opening the door.
They texted back, I texted, can we do the same thing that we did the last time we hung out? And, he said some things, and that's when the picture of the junk came through. And, so I know something was going on.
Mr. Rajat claims his wife went on a little adventure while he was away, and then, boom, she's pregnant soon after he returns. He's now demanding a paternity test and a lie detector test to get to the bottom of this baby drama. Stick around, because you're not going to want to miss what comes up next.
Mr. Rajat, you claim your wife had an affair while you were away and got pregnant shortly after you returned home. You argue you have no idea if her child is yours because the timing of her sexual encounters with you is just too close to call. You have petitioned the court for the results of a paternity test, lie detector test, to discover the truth today.
Grab your tissues. This part gets a bit teary. Mrs. King Rajat spills the beans on how her husband's denial of their daughter Destiny is shredding their family vibe. She details the disparities in how he treats their other kids compared to Destiny. You'll want to see how Mr. Rajat wiggles his way out of this one, coming up shortly.
I'm here today to prove to my husband that our daughter Destiny is in fact his, tearing our family apart pieces by pieces because he denies her.
What does he do specifically?
He doesn't interact with her like he does with our other children.
How does he interact with?
Well, he takes them to the park, he plays with them, he watches them, he does everything with them. Homework, everything.
That's a lot.
No, it's not.
You might need a genetics textbook for this next bit. Mr. Rajat is hung up on hair and eye colors, bringing out a family tree diagram to prove his point about Destiny not fitting the mold. Get ready for a family tree shakeup in just a moment.
I may stay distant a little bit, due to my concerns, but I treat her the same as all the other children.
He's lying right now.
All of my family and her family all have brown hair and brown eyes. Child has blonde hair and blue eyes, and I actually have a diagram together of that for you.
You have a diagram?
Yes.
You're such a fool.
You're a liar.
That's okay, you'll see.
Okay.
And here she goes on the defense. Mrs. King Rajat stands her ground, denying any extramarital escapades. She admits to chatting with other guys, but insists it was all above board. Fasten your seatbelts, because Mr. Rajat's reaction is just around the corner.
Have you ever cheated on your husband?
No, I have not.
Never talked to a guy?
I've spoken to a man, yes, but I have never, on my husband, I've never had any sexual nothing.
That's a lie.
No,
That's a lie.
it's not you'll see when the lie detector test comes.
My childhood friend that I grew up with more than half of my life, just like I've known her. One time we was at a bar. She had actually sent a text while I was with him saying that they to meet up and go out.
Talk about awkward medical news. Mrs. King Rajat drops a bombshell about contracting an STD while pregnant, pointing fingers at Mr. Rajat's fidelity, or lack thereof. As you reel from that, stay tuned to see how Mr. Rajat scrambles to defend himself.
I was 6 months pregnant with our first child. I went to the doctor for a routine checkup. Nurse told me I had to come in and get some antibiotics because I have an STD. And if I'm not cheating, where else did I get it from?
I don't know. I was calling your phone all night. You're the one not answering.
You're the one that's gonna see.
Every time you call my phone, I pick up. I called all night.
Lie,
you stayed out all night long.
Get ready for the main event. The paternity test results are here.
When it comes to 2-year-old Destiny Rajat, Mr. Rajat, you are her father.
The courtroom was buzzing with anticipation as Miss Looper started her tale. Miss Looper recounts her initial impression of Mr. Diaz as a respectable churchgoer and family man, which drastically changed after they started a relationship and she discovered his true character. She describes the early days of their connection, filled with shared interests and activities, which later soured due to trust issues stemming from Mr. Diaz going through her phone. What unfolds next will turn the drama up a notch, so brace yourself.
You say you thought the defendant was a church-going family man. Turned out to be anything but. You claim that after giving birth to your twins, Brayley and Bishop, fathering your baby. Mr. Downs, you say Looper carried on a secret relationship behind your back up until she found out she was pregnant. There is no way you are the father of her twins.
As jaws dropped around the room, the plot thickened dramatically. During the court hearing, Mr. Diaz expresses his disbelief that he could be the father of Miss Looper's twins, citing her ongoing interactions with other men. Miss Looper admits to not completely severing ties with other other relationships when they started dating, which fuels Mr. Diaz's doubts about paternity. The situation escalates when Mr. Diaz finds incriminating messages on Miss Looper's phone, leading to a major confrontation and trust issues. Just when you think it can't get more convoluted, the next twist is a real doozy.
I found the perfect family man, but I soon found out that was when we first met. Mr. Downs was amazing. He went to church, and as soon as we talked, like our music, everything vibed. Like it was great. Then we ran into some problems, and I did have a lot of open doors.
Open doors. So you still had other relations you had not quite cut off.
Absolutely. This was 2 weeks after we started hanging out.
Hold on to your seats, because here comes a curveball. The relationship dynamics change significantly after Mr. Diaz discovers the messages on Miss Looper's phone, impacting their interactions and plans for a future together. Miss Looper reveals she was pregnant shortly after the incident, which temporarily brought them closer again. Despite the turmoil, Mr. Diaz participates actively during the pregnancy, indicating a temporary reconciliation. If you thought this was wild, just wait until the babies come into the picture.
Into the day you saw the phone. What was going on? How did you even have her phone?
Just something told me to pick up the phone, and I did it. And I'm looking through the phone. I'm like, and I bring it to her, and I'm seeing messages from other dudes and all this other stuff. So I'm like, what is this? Messages are just trying to, hook up with her and like stuff like that. So
Is she accepting the advancement?
Yes, Your Honor. I was in the process of closing those doors.
No, you don't close the door by saying, yeah, we can have sex. That's opening the door.
Here's where things get even spicier. At the birth of the twins, Mr. Diaz's doubt resurfaces, especially when he sees the lighter complexion of one of the twins, Bray. He requests a DNA test immediately, but shows a connection with the other twin, Bishop, whom he feels resembles him more. This moment highlights Mr. Diaz's mixed feelings and his struggle between doubt and desire to be a father. Buckle up, because the emotional roller coaster is about to go off the rails.
I just sent him a picture of the pregnancy test.
And what was his response?
I don't remember his exact response, but I just remember him being like nonchalant about it. Like it
I was
wasn't.
at work. Like I said, I've been through your phone. I mean, what do you want me to do? You want me to jump for joy?
So your
You want me
okay
to-
was already because of what you saw on the
Yes,
phone.
ma'am. Feel. I mean, after I found this out, ain't no way I'm gonna sit here and lips or nothing.
So how does it get to the point where you just leave the okay and doing that? How does it get to that?
I got 3 other children outside of these 2 we're here for today.
As if the story couldn't get any more tangled, another twist unravels. Miss Looper discusses another potential father contacting her after seeing a post-birth picture of Bray, increasing the complexity of the situation. Mr. Diaz recounts his earlier doubts about Miss Looper's fidelity and the paternity of the twins, exacerbated by her quick assurance that he was the only unprotected partner. This revelation intensifies the paternity doubt and sets the stage for further discord. You won't believe what happens next. Get ready for an emotional showdown.
When the twins were born.
As soon as they brought Brayley into the room, the first thing he said was, "Do you guys do DNA tests here? I've never had a kid come out that light." But he did go see my son, and he did say that he looked like him.
You didn't feel like you could be her father?
I mean, I know it don't really matter about the collection and stuff, but like I said, all my kids favor me, just extremely. I seen more Bishop in me than Brayley, and at the same time, like I said, I know there's another man been involved.
The courtroom was on the edge of their seats, tears and gasps filling the air. Mr. Diaz explains his deep emotional ties to the hospital where the twins were born, which also holds painful memories of past personal losses. This emotional backdrop adds another layer of complexity to his reaction to the twins' birth and his fluctuating involvement in their lives. The discussion reveals the intertwined feelings of hope, pain, and suspicion that characterize Mr. Diaz's experiences of fatherhood. The climax is just around the corner, and it's a heart-stopper.
As me being a father, like I said, I've never had to deal with any suspicion of any of my other kids. Wondering, okay, well, am I going up here to see somebody else's kids, or am I going up here to support her for her and her other dude's kids, because he needs to be here if that's the case. Same time, I talked to Robin about a situation too. I also lost 2 of my other babies in that very same room that she was sitting, and I told her it's hard for me to deal with that. That's the first thing that goes through my mind is me losing my other 2 daughters.
As the tension builds to a fever pitch, everyone's waiting for the next bomb to drop. The court session progresses with testimonies about the immediate post-birth period, during which Mr. Diaz's doubts prevent him from signing the birth certificate. The emotional distance between him and Miss Looper grows, culminating in her decision to move back to California, amid unresolved paternity and trust issues. The truth is about to be revealed, and it's a game changer.
He knows my face, he knows who I am, and Brayley does too to an extent, but it's just something about son, man, when I see him, and it's like he just...
And you feel this because the twins are fraternal twins, right? So knowing this adds to your belief. Essentially, you're the father of only one.
Yes, ma'am.
This is fascinating.
This is it, the final revelation that will shake the courtroom to its core. The paternity test results are revealed.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Downs, you are not the father.
You won't see this coming. Ms. Woodbury confidently states that her fiancé, Mr. Cage, is the father of their 1-year-old son, Lexington. She details how her reality TV fame complicates their life, forcing her to prove paternity, not only to Mr. Cage, but to an audience of doubters fueled by social media. Buckle up, because the next scene is even juicier.
Ms. Woodbury, you claim you are 110% certain that your fiancé, Mr. Cage, is the father of your 1-year-old son, Lexington. Your reality TV persona has put you in the position of having to prove paternity to Mr. Cage, but also all of the naysayers on social media and the world.
This is where it gets spicy. Ms. Woodbury laments how her fun and sexy public image has led to widespread misconceptions and personal challenges. Her life seems more like a scripted drama, influencing how others perceive her private matters. Stick around, because things are about to get even wilder.
It could be not even denying our son, or no matter what I do with my life, someone has an opinion.
And so let's be completely honest. Your public, often you're portrayed as a girl that's fun, carefree, sexy. This entire image, you believe, is now almost kind of backfired in that these people expect you to be something you're saying you're not.
Yes, Your Honor.
Grab your popcorn. Mr. Cage recounts their Instagram to real-life love story, which took off from a friend's Snapchat recommendation and led to an impromptu meetup that quickly turned intimate. It's a modern-day romance with a fast-forward button. But hold on, the next clip turns up the heat.
You know, I want you to come out, I want you to hang out with me and some of my friends.
You can't bring your friend.
But you can't bring your friend. I got in the Uber, I pulled up to the event, and she just pulled up. Walk into the club, do the walkthrough, and then after that, it was history.
Oh, wait, you said history?
Yeah.
Oh, so what does that mean? So you do the walkthrough.
Yeah.
I invited him back home. He didn't leave after that. He stayed.
Get ready for a curveball. Persistent rumors and gossip continue to cloud Mr. Cage's mind about Ms. Woodbury's loyalty, thanks to their circle of not-so-helpful friends. Each whisper adds more fuel to his fiery doubts, and just when you think it can't escalate further, the next revelation drops.
People are always telling me, they were just like, even some of her co-stars, they were just like, hey, listen, don't trust Kaylee. She's out there. Birds of a feather flock together. So it was just like, oh, if you're hanging out with them, you must be...
So were you out there, Ms. Woodbury? What was going on?
I was having fun. I'm 21. I'm having fun. I'm going out dancing, partying. Yeah, I'm partying.
Talk about a plot twist. The plot thickens as Mr. Cage brings up a music artist who bears an uncanny resemblance to him, stirring up the paternity pot even more. This doppelganger dilemma triggers more than a few awkward conversations. But don't wander off. The storyline takes another twist just ahead.
There was a artist, and scarily resembles me. It's kind of weird. We resemble each other, and everyone thinks so as well. They talked all the time. She says,
About what?
We don't talk
About
all the time.
what? Music.
I don't know, because I never checked. But the things that he was saying and some of my family members were very disrespectful, and you just brushed it right off.
Are you still with us? Amid growing doubts, Mr. Cage confronts Ms. Woodbury about her relationship with the look-alike artist, questioning the nature of their conversations. Ms. Woodbury stands her ground, insisting it's all innocent. The suspense is building, and you'll want to see what's next.
Do you believe at some point intimate with this guy?
I feel so.
But I've never ever hung out with him outside of, like, without him there.
But you
never ever hung out with the guy.
You've hung out with him prior.
Everyone was around.
These were
and you
multiple
saw,
times.
All
I remember
our
you were
other
telling me
friends
that
were
you're
there.
always with him.
This relationship with this guy has not always been but you're trying to lean into your trust, physical, emotional, sexual connection.
I believe they were 100%.
Things are getting thorny. When their friends suggest a DNA test, the level of mistrust becomes palpable, shaking Ms. Woodbury to her core. This bombshell doesn't just stir the pot, it practically flips it over. Gear up, because the next part is a real game changer.
They're very close to both of us. They're like, you need to get a DNA test. We don't even trust it. So when I told you specifically that me and this person sat down because she couldn't film. Yeah, you remember that now, don't you? And she told me.
I didn't know about the
She
DNA
told me
thing.
everything. She told me not to trust you, how not to trust you and the guy. She told me all of that. And she told me to watch out.
How will they bounce back? Judge Lake points out that Ms. Woodbury's public image is complicating their personal life and casting doubt on her relationship. The emotional fallout is real and raw. Fasten your seatbelts, because the ride isn't over yet.
What it seems like to me is this public persona was affecting your relationship.
Very much so. Then especially when it's my child, like our child, and you're gonna deny him, like, it hurts, because there are fathers out there and they still deny it, and I obviously I don't. Like, you could 110% look, that's his, gosh. That's his child.
Can it get any more intense? The focus shifts to whether little Lexington looks more like Mr. Cage or the mysterious music artist. Ms. Woodbury tries to dispel the doubts with a comparison of features. The tension is palpable, and the next moment will have you on the edge of your seat.
Daquan has big eyes. He says he don't. He do. And I got small little eyes. I got colored eyes. Lexington has brown eyes. Naturally, I have blonde hair. I dye it all the time. Pin straight hair.
Ms. Woodbury, I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to say there are certain lyrics in this courtroom that are familiar. When you start singing a song about, and see, says he's got dimples and he's got dimples. He's got an eye and he's got an eye. Right?
Here's the big reveal. The court session reaches its peak as Judge Lake announces the paternity results.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Cage, you are the father.
Thank you.
Can you believe this twist? Mr. McCormick starts off by painting a picture of shattered dreams, having once believed he found his dream partner in Ms. Ball, only to later discover her repeated infidelities. He vehemently labels her as a serial cheater, adamant that there is absolutely no chance he is the father of her son, Gavin. Let's just say, buckle up, because Ms. Ball's comeback is not to be missed.
You say you thought you found the perfect woman until you discovered the love of your life with just a serial cheater on a rampage. You say Ms. Ball is a shameless adulterer, and there is no way you are her son Gavin's father.
Now, here's where it gets juicy. Ms. Ball, on the other hand, admits to her romantic escapades, but is completely certain that Mr. McCormick is indeed Gavin's dad. She's here to prove paternity and clear the air, standing firm against Mr. McCormick's storm of accusations. And guess what? The courtroom's about to turn up the heat even more.
You admit to having stepped out on your relationship in the past, but you are positive Mr. McCormick, father of your son, you intend to prove paternity today.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. McCormick, what do you mean she's a serial cheater?
This backstory might raise some eyebrows. The judge digs into how their love story began at a seemingly innocent party, which quickly escalated to them moving in together. They reminisce about the good old days with a nostalgic glow, despite the chaos that followed. Just wait, the narrative twists in the next segment are something else.
Nature of your relationship, how did it begin?
We saw each other at a party, and when I first saw him, I was physically attracted to him. And so I started talking to him. I asked him if he wanted to hang out. I said, where can we hang out? And he said, you can go to my house. And we've been together ever since.
All right.
Prepare for a roller coaster of emotions here. Mr. McCormick shares the deep hurt and confusion over possibly not being Gavin's father, his doubts fueled by Ms. Ball's early infidelity. He even brings an exhibit to court to visually prove his claims of her ongoing cheating. And just when you think you've seen it all, the next exhibit really throws a spanner in the works.
It really hurts, because I'm a softie. She cheated early in a relationship, and it just kind of put doubt with it, in my mind throughout.
Gavin, there's no way that could be a bond and not be father and son.
I've even brought some examples.
You brought an exhibit?
I brought an exhibit, Your Honor.
Please step up. Let's review that exhibit.
That cross?
Yes.
Well, Your Honor, this is how you catch a serial cheater.
And it just keeps getting wilder. The exhibit reveals footage of Ms. Ball with another man, which Mr. McCormick interprets as undeniable proof of her betrayal. As he details these supposed clandestine encounters, the courtroom buzzes with anticipation. What comes next? Well, it's a doozy.
I kind of stayed back, and then I was following her. I saw her getting to a truck. Strange guy. He was like 25 years old.
Why would you let me get in?
Okay, strange guy.
That's the strange guy.
Okay.
Truck. I asked her who it was. Said it was another family member, which I know is like 2 years old. He doesn't wear his hat sideways, and
so it was a young guy.
A young guy. Yeah.
And you believe she was cheating.
I mean, what else would you be doing? Why else would she lie about it? And she was actually before she took off. That's the reason I'd followed her.
This part is a real game changer. Ms. Ball drops a bombshell by admitting to the affairs and the possibility of another man being Gavin's father. This confession is a turning point, revealing the tangled web of their relationship and raising serious questions about paternity. You'll want to see Mr. McCormick's reaction in the upcoming segment. It's quite something.
There was a time I came home from work, and there was a text message on the phone. I picked up the phone, pretended to be Ms. Ball, and texted some sexual stuff. They texted back. I texted, can we do the same thing that we did last time we hung out? And he said some things, and that's when the picture of the junk came through. And so I know something was going on.
Brace yourself for his heartfelt response. As the court delves deeper into Mr. McCormick's emotional turmoil, he shares how attached he has become to Gavin, despite his uncertainties about being his biological father. Ms. Ball vehemently argues for the familial resemblance, hinting at deeper emotional ties. The suspense builds as they edge closer to the DNA results reveal.
He's crazy.
That was a lot of information.
He knows Gavin is his
But
child.
you have admitted you said that. I've admitted.
The insecurities that I've created, anything anything that he can't absolutely find an answer for, it creates doubt.
Once you cheat, now that opens the door where we don't believe nothing you have to say.
It all boils down to this moment. Get ready for a big reveal as the judge announces the DNA test results.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. McCormick, you are the father.
Thank you.